Today I need to repeat this. I need to put a wooden knob, I'm using a ball, on the end of a shaft and hold it there. And this is the new project. So somehow I've got to get this ball to stay on this stainless shaft permanently. The tools we're going to need for this job, obviously we need our workpiece that we're going to do. We need some small applicators, toothpicks, place to mix some epoxy. This is fast dry. I do not recommend fast dry, but right now the hardware store is out of the slow dry, so I've got no choice. A small piece of sandpaper and some thread. Cotton thread is good, polyester works. And if you have a small tube, sometimes this can help apply the thread. Let me tell you first what I'm going to be doing, because a lot of this you won't be able to see on camera. It's just too small, it's too dark inside that hole. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to apply a little bit of epoxy to that shaft, and we're going to have a loop of thread around it, and then I'm going to twist this shaft around and I'm going to feed that string in there, and I'm going to give it a little bit of epoxy, probably from the opposite side. I can also apply it to the string, the thread as it goes in there, and then I'm going to wrap the thread back and forth across that hole like a bobbin, wind it on there like a bobbin, and not get it on there too thick because I don't want it to collide with the sides. And then I will snip it off, apply a final coat of epoxy, and when the epoxy sets, this shaft will not come out of there. It will be a permanent thing. With the shaft, we're going to want to rough up the shaft just a little bit. Just to help the epoxy get a better grip on it. Like that. With a thread, you want to tie a loop in the end of it, such that when you pull on the long piece here, it closes. Let me show you. It's around here, so that when I put it around the shaft and I pull, it's going to tighten up on that shaft. And then we're going to apply a little bit of epoxy on the shaft, and we'll start rotating it like this, and we will wind the thread and epoxy combination around the shaft, and the epoxy will help the string adhere to the shaft, of course, and it will rotate nicely around there. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. This is one of those things I'll never be able to show on camera. So we're going to have the shaft in place, we're going to pull it out, you can see it coming out, then I'm going to slip this loop through the hole, and then I'm going to put the shaft back, and that will trap the loop, and then I will pull the loop tight. We'll put a little bit of epoxy on there, and then we'll start to roll the shaft as I described earlier, and we'll feed thread and epoxy and just keep rotating it in there until we have that covered. I don't know if you can see that, but I have the loop around the rod, around the shaft. And then I will pull it like this until it's pretty tight, and then I will go apply the epoxy a little bit, and then I will start to wind it around there like I'm doing right now, but with the epoxy on there. I don't know how well you can see in there, but what I did is I just wound the thread from one side to the other and back again, and you want to make sure you get pretty close to both ends, because that'll keep the knob from wiggling back and forth. You don't want to get too much epoxy on the ends though, because then the knob will stick, and if you want the knob to turn, that won't help. So you can see it's in there. The epoxy's covered it. It just needs to dry. In fact, it's setting rather quickly on me. I'm pretty much done with this. I can't go on. But yeah, that's it. Now I will snip the thread off inside there, and it will be done. Like that, and then wind it up inside of there. And what you want to do is, while the epoxy is setting, come back and turn the shaft every once in a while to make sure that it's not sticking, assuming again that you want the shaft to rotate. Okay, so that's it. That is putting a wooden knob on a stainless steel shaft. For, in this case, a crystal radio, but it could be for just about anything. Okay, well, I hope you found that useful and interesting in your home DIY projects.